Stitch's Great Escape is coming back. I think. Now this may not be what you want to hear, nay, this may not even be what you need to hear, but gather around the table of truth, for we, ahead of the Walt Disney official D23 Ultimate Fan event that's occurring in Anaheim, California this weekend, are adding some fuel to the speculative fire. Hello and welcome to my obligatory 2026 D23 prediction video that everyone who is anyone is putting out right now. In the many videos that have come before mine, we've seen predictions and anti-predictions for close to every single possible scenario for the future of the Disney parks, which, whether on a grand or a minute scale, will be explored and potentially announced at this year's D23 Disney Parks Centered panel, Horizons, Disney Experiences Showcase. This panel will be streamed for the first time on Disney+, and it will be hosted by actor Neil Patrick Harris, whose most notable connection to the parks is his annual appearance at Epcot's Candlelight Processional event. Disney news sources and the D23 site itself have confirmed that this panel, which shamelessly shares its name with the fan favourite defunct attraction Horizons, and I promise I'll make a video about that another day, will be sharing information on the progress of previously announced projects, shifting that focus away from new announcements as has been the way in previous years. This means we'll likely see the updates on the Avatar-themed land in Disneyland, Cars Land and Villains Land in Magic Kingdom, Tropical Americas in Animal Kingdom, which is replacing my beloved Dinoland USA, and Monstropolis in Hollywood Studios, which is also replacing my once beloved Muppet Courtyard. It has been a bad year to be me. But in light of this announcement that the panel is going to be focused solely on that, a new question has emerged. Should we believe them? Are they telling the truth? And is this really all that's being announced at this panel? The answer is no. One, for I do not want it to be, and two, because I have a good reason not to believe them. But before we get into that, my name's Jo, and I talk a lot about theme parks, tourism, visitor attractions, abandoned places, horror nights, and all kinds of other fun things. So if this is the kind of thing you're interested in, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Also turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the videos that are coming out. I know I said that in previous videos and disappeared for months, but as you can see, I have a very shiny new setup with my shiny new camera, my shiny new bookcase full of shiny things. And all of this means from a production point of view that life has gotten a lot easier for me, so hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of me in the future. Oh, I've also got a ring light. If anyone knows how to work this, I think it's the reflection of my glasses. It's really tough. Is there any way around it? Am I doomed to box lights, or are we okay with this? You let me know. You let me know in the comments and we'll work on this together. Anyway, but now, without further ado, let's discuss my shock drop predictions for Disney's 2026 D23 event. If you happen to look back at my channel, you wouldn't be foolish for assuming that this is my first D23 prediction rodeo. But you would be incorrect. And I'll put my hands up, I did such a bad job a year or so ago that I actually had to private the video because I was completely off the mark and I wanted to hide all the evidence of it ever existing. But this time around, things are different. I am so confident in all of my predictions, all two of them, that I am laying it all out. I may have been delusional in past years and I may even continue to be delusional now, but I truly believe that big things are coming, and these things have yet to be shared, and that is intentional. I believe that there are some incredible resurrections coming to the Disney parks in the near future, and I believe that they're going to be dropped without any prior warning at this year's D23. With no leaks, either intentional or non-intentional. I think that these shock drops that I'm going to be discussing could also come with a really tight turnaround window, with the attractions in question potentially opening even by the end of the year. No multi-year waits, no artistically blurred concept arts or anything like that. Just a big, hey, by the way, we're doing this and we're opening it next month. And this will be done in a way that we have never ever seen before. My business justification here is that a really tight turnaround window will guarantee a strong start to the next financial year, and the projects that I'm going to discuss were literally built to accommodate this. Speaking of, by now I am sure that you are absolutely desperate to know what my predictions are, and I do promise that I am going to talk about these very soon, but first, in order to understand these secret predictions in their entirety, we must first understand the ecosystem in which these predictions could be actualized. first things first, let's consider the importance of this event for the Walt Disney Company. D23 is arguably the most hyped and anticipated Disney event of the year, and the outcome of this event has pretty sizable impacts on a lot of things. What is or is not said can completely determine whether or not a potential or a returning guest chooses to book a trip to the parks, or whether they decide to A, wait a few more years, or B, visit somewhere else entirely. Secondly, all of the existing projects that we can certainly bank on seeing being discussed at this year's panel are at least a year off materialising, with Tropical Americas being slated for some time in 2027, Monstropolis could be beyond that into 2028, and the Magic Kingdom updates potentially stretch as far as 2030. Considering this, there are clear gaps in the anchor attraction opening schedule for both Magic Kingdom and Epcot, which could definitely be filled. Thirdly, somewhat unrelated but still important, this is the first D23 event with Josh D'Amaro as the company's CEO, meaning that the pressure is really on to make a good impression, not just for park goers but for the shareholders too. And the best way to do that? Announce some awesome projects that guarantee increased visitor numbers and by extension, increased revenue for the next few years. In a recent video, Probably at Disney made an excellent point that Josh D'Amaro is a parks guy by trade, with a resume stacked with Disney Experience chairman and park president roles. And this leads me to a very fair conclusion that if this is the case and there are big ticket announcements coming, there's a pretty good chance that they'll be focused around the parks themselves rather than coming from other divisions like Disney Plus or Disney Vacation Club. So considering this, do we really believe that at arguably the most hyped and anticipated event of the year, with the stakes so high, they're not going to announce anything beyond what's already been announced? No. So, what do I think is coming? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have two main predictions for shock drop announcements for D23, and these predictions are: number one, the resurrection of the shelved Play Pavilion at Epcot, and number two, this one's crazy, I know, the resurrection of the defunct Stitch's Great Escape attraction in Magic Kingdom. I know, but don't go anywhere just yet because I have further evidence, the cold hard facts that may just convince you that I'm not completely off field and that this is something we'll be seeing very soon. Let's begin with the Play Pavilion. If you've somehow missed it shoehorned into every video I've ever made, allow me to share the fact that I love the Wonders of Life Pavilion, which, for those who don't have the pleasure of knowing, is the sad-looking geodesic dome that's currently sat between Mission Space and Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot, and is tightly locked away behind bamboo and a 6-foot-tall mesh-lined fence. In a past life, the dome housed one of Disney's most absurd lands, which was themed around health and the human body. It was an absolute marvel of a pavilion, and to this day, the fact that it ever got greenlit still shocks me. But following its closure in 2007, a string of dramatic events, including the disappearance, alleged theft, of the Pavilion star animatronic Buzzy, who is still publicly unaccounted for at the time of publishing this video, and a number of food and wine festival overlays, it was announced in early 2019 that a new pavilion would be filling the dome, the Play Pavilion. The Play Pavilion was set to be a kind of hands-on interactive city, a first of its kind enclosed world, which was built around the concept of play. Live performers, meet and greets, arcade games, animation classes, even a monorail were all expected to be featured, and honestly it felt like an intentionally vague and murky concept while they figured out exactly what they were going to do. Construction for the pavilion was paused in 2020 in line with the park's COVID closures, and in the years that followed, updates on the promised pavilion were tactfully omitted from official park announcements. And then in 2024, the grand Epcot overhaul was dubbed complete, and all hopes of the Play Pavilion worming its way back into the park lineup were quashed, with many of its concepts having been recycled for other attractions and areas, including the upcoming animation experience in Hollywood Studios. And that was that, until very recently. Because back in June this year, 2026, it was reported by Blog Mickey that the Play Pavilion flag had been removed from the Epcot entryway, where it had been flying peacefully for the years prior without concern. Whether this was just an overdue cleanup job or a subtle indicator of greater things to come, I do not know. But couple this with the fact that I, in my multi-year covert observation operation, have spotted the lights on inside the dome multiple times, and I have also spotted the removal of a specific bench that offered a prime over-the-fence viewing spot in recent weeks. And I think we've got something new brewing. If I had to put my money on it, I would say some kind of reworked next-gen play pavilion that's related to the $1.5 billion expansive and open games entertainment universe investment that Disney made into Epic Games back in 2024. But what do I know? To round off, I truly hope that this is the beginning of a huge and long overdue change coming to the Wonders of Life Pavilion, but at present, and depending who you ask, it's unclear if it's for the better or the worse. And now, number 2, the one you're all here for, my second prediction for D23's shock drop announcement is the return of Disney's most hated ride, apparently it's not Mission Space, Stitch's Great Escape in Magic Kingdom, which last operated all the way back in 2018. This attraction deserves and will get a full video of its own in due course, but in short, Stitch's Great Escape was an attraction that told a non-canon story of Stitch's first prison break and featured sights, sounds, smells and animatronics, which following its closure and the theatre's transformation into a staff break room, ended up looking a little bit worse for wear. And this building can still be seen today on the left-hand side as you enter Tomorrowland from Magic Kingdom's Main Street. But Joe, I hear you say the attraction's been closed for almost a decade, and as appears to be the running theme in this video, the main animatronic has been unceremoniously skinned. They couldn't possibly bring it back. Well, you're wrong. And let me tell you why. Somewhere in between the window of mid-June 2026, note the same time as the Play Pavilion flag was removed, and early August 2026, the windows that once looked into the pre-show holding room that were blacked out following the ride's closure received an overhaul. And not just any overhaul. The decal that was added to cover the once impenetrable windows features characters from the Lilo and Stitch universe, including Ensign Gecko and First Officer Ombit. And you may be thinking this is just a coincidence, right? Perhaps just a necessary investment to help tidy up a land that's getting ride-by-ride updates as we speak, right? Wrong. I too would pose those questions if it weren't for the absolutely irrefutable, scorching piece of evidence to suggest otherwise. In previous years, during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party events, we've seen meet and greets being held in the pre-show room that you can kind of see on the corner still there by the stroller parking today. This year only, by the way, the party Stitch encounter has conveniently been moved out of the Stitch's Great Escape building all the way over to the other side of Tomorrowland at the Rocket Tower Plaza stage. And how convenient that a daytime meet and greet with Stitch has been spotted by the exit of Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin, despite there not being one in that area for a very long time. Oh, and if I haven't convinced you yet, don't forget about the sequel to the 2025 live-action Lilo and Stitch film that has been announced and slated for a May 2028 release. All I'm saying, at the risk of sounding like a Lilo and Stitch conspiracy theorist, is that there's a lot of things to suggest something is happening with Lilo and Stitch in Tomorrowland. And that could well be this specific attraction coming back, and coming back soon. They've got the building, they've got the animatronic skeleton, all we need now is an announcement. Alternatively, and I have just thought of this, in light of all the Space Mountain talk, the Space Mountain overhaul talk, could well be putting Stitch in there. It could work, it could be cool. I'm sticking with this theory for the video. This is the one we're working with. But if you need further convincing in either case, let's take a quick look at some stats. By my very quick and rough calculations, of the 10 most recent attractions to open at Walt Disney World, 90% are situated in existing buildings/structures, with all but one of these using the exact same tracks, layouts or ride systems as previous rides. Admittedly, things are feeling a bit more fresh when we consider the upcoming attractions, with 3.5 completely new lands being built across the 4 Walt Disney World parks, but the updated Carousel of Progress, the Magic of Disney Animation, and Indiana Jones and Tropical Americas follow the same pattern of using the existing foundations and ride tracks. So, looking backwards and now forwards, it's not completely unfathomable that either the Wonders of Life or Stitch's Great Escape will serve as a structural springboard for a new attraction, and we'll be back in action soon, whatever that looks like. So that is the end of my video, and now it's up to you. Sorry, I've just noticed this little fella in the corner, his little eyes, he's peeking up. I think he's very funny. What do you think will be announced at this weekend's D23 event? Will we see any surprising updates? And will the Walt Disney Company embrace this as an opportunity to disprove the accusations they're facing about a lack of innovation and the recycling of old shelved projects? Or will a rehash of old attractions further perpetuate that narrative? On the ground and in online spaces, it still feels like the general feeling towards the parks right now isn't too positive. After a decade of cancelled projects, cost-cutting, price hikes, and a lot of loud backlash directed towards an animatronic pirate, there's still a lot of room for the company to save face. So maybe this could be the perfect way to do it. But you let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this or enjoy broad discussions about theme parks, visitor attractions, and tourism products, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I'd love for you to come along on my entertainment history and speculative industry ventures. And you can also check out the links in the description to support me on alternative platforms. Once again, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.